Iran.
Iran's been at war with us. How many U.S. citizens has Iran killed on U.S. soil in their 47 years?
How many soldiers have they killed?
And why were our soldiers in the Middle East to begin with?
Okay.
How many Americans have they killed on U.S. soil?
So that's allowed? They're allowed to kill soldiers in the Middle East?
No. How many, for the people who chant death to America for 47 years, how many U.S. citizens have they killed on U.S. soil?
Okay.
How many on U.S. soil, Hal? It was the politicians like your old friend Ted Cruz that believed those lies and got us into those wars, and it was President Trump who campaigned on being different, and that's a separate thing I'm going to get into. But the 18 U.S. intelligence agencies concluded that Iran was not building a nuclear weapon, and that has not changed during the course of this war. However, what has changed is that Iran has now...
Now, this is something that you don't see every day. In this clip, we actually see Caroline Sunshine, who is MAGA, who is a Republican, break with her fellow Republican panelist, Hal Lambert, and get into a bit of a tense exchange about the war that Donald Trump waged in Iran. This is an interesting clip because we never ever usually see this, two Republicans going at it over the legitimacy of Trump's Iran war. As usual, let's watch the clip in full. I'll give you guys my thoughts towards the end.
Negotiating now, and they want to make a very good deal. I think we are winning that battle, but you're really going to win it over the next 2 weeks when we declare total victory. It'll be a total victory.
2 weeks. Does that timeline sound familiar to you? Well, it's because Donald Trump has used it for healthcare, for infrastructure, for taxes, for conspiracy evidence, TikTok, tariffs, trusting Putin. I could go on and on. It's historically a tell that he has no idea what the timeline is or how to proceed on something. And that fits, since today marks 100 days since the start of the Iran war. And once again, there is no end in sight. After Iran attacked Israel for continued strikes on Hezbollah in Lebanon, Israel briefly defied the president's demand not to respond and escalate the situation. Now, Trump told Axios reporter and CNN contributor Barak Ravid that he warned Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, "You better be careful or you'll be on your own very soon." Trump also told the Financial Times that he, and not Netanyahu, calls the shots. It echoed what Trump said nearly 3 weeks ago.
What have you said to Prime Minister Netanyahu about Iran and how long to hold off on strikes?
He's fine. He'll do whatever I want him to do. He's a very, very good man. He'll do whatever I want him to do, and he's a great guy. To me, he's a great guy.
And it appears Trump's call to Netanyahu worked. CNN has learned that Israel was preparing for a significant attack on Tehran, but Trump convinced Netanyahu to stand down. Now, this is a moment, I think, Hal, of a division between Israel and the president. And I actually think that this idea that Trump told Netanyahu, you're going to be on your own if you keep doing X, Y, and Z, is something that if we'd heard that from another president, people would be hair on fire. And in fact, to be fair, some people, Mark Levin has said, why are we turning on Israel and Netanyahu tonight? Wow, he adds. What is going on here? Is Trump taking up too much for the Iranians to try to get them to the negotiation table?
Well, I think Israel would like to destroy Iran. And I think President Trump is holding them back from doing that. So I think he's wanting Iran to cut a deal, And he's saying, look, I'm holding Israel back. Let's cut a deal. I think that's what's going on here. And Netanyahu is just ready to move forward with this. President Trump wants to cut a deal, and I think that's really what's going on here. And when people say, they're saying, well, Trump said no new wars. And all, look, Iran started this. They've attacked us for years. He took out Soleimani in his first term. So Trump's been aggressive with Iran. I don't think it's all that surprising what's happening here. And I think he wants to end this the way he wants to end it and not the way Netanyahu wants to end it.
But he did say no new wars. Over and over.
But he didn't start this one. People say he started it. Look, Iran's been at war with us for a long time, and he did take out Soleimani.
Iran's been at war with us. How many U.S. citizens has Iran killed on U.S. soil in their 47 years?
How many soldiers have they killed?
And why were our soldiers in the Middle East to begin with?
Okay.
How many Americans have they killed on U.S. soil?
So that's allowed? They're allowed to kill soldiers in the Middle East?
No. How many, for the people who chant death to America for 47 years, how many U.S. citizens have they killed on U.S. soil?
Okay.
How many on U.S. soil, Hal?
So that's all that
counts? It's an easy answer. You should know it. Or is it like Ted Cruz, where you don't know the population of Iran?
Wow.
How many U.S. citizens have they killed on U.S. soil?
I don't know the answer to that. I would guess it's low.
0.
But I don't think that's the telltale test. I don't think you have to kill us on our soil. If you're killing us overseas, you're killing.
Why are we overseas to begin with?
Are we really
Why
going to
are
go
our
into
soldiers in
global
the Middle East
politics
to
on why
begin
we're
with?
overseas? I don't think we
We were
have
talking about our. It just felt silly.
We're overseas because
Why were they in the
you
Middle
wanna know
East to
why?
begin
Because
with?
of oil.
And point to
Because
one
of oil.
Middle
Let's
Eastern
just-
country we've
because
made
of
better by
oil.
our involvement
Because
over
of
there.
oil. We know why we're there. It's because of oil.
What do you mean because of oil?
We need to protect our interests in oil, period. We
Then
know
maybe
it.
we should open the Strait of Hormuz, which was open before this war started, and we could open right now if we just left, which is in our
Wow.
interest.
So you're okay.
I
You're
think
for
Israel
Iran having
has
a nuclear
shown
weapon.
a
Got it.
remarkable. Oh, Iran doesn't need a nuclear weapon now because they have learned that they don't need one. They've now learned through this war. By the way, Iran, a nuclear weapon. Let me just dismantle that talking point really quick. The 18 U.S. intelligence agencies
back
in
to
our
those.
country.
We're back to those.
Back to those.
Well, that's what.
What
told
is
us
that supposed to
well,
mean?
because
Back
that told
to
us
those.
that Saddam
Whose
Hussein
intel
had
do you trust?
weapons of mass destruction.
A lie.
Well, they were the 18 intelligence agencies you're about to quote. Go ahead.
That is.
Okay.
It wasn't the intel agencies. It was the politicians. No, let me be clear.
What were you going
It
to say
wasn't
about
the
the
intel.
intelligence
It wasn't the
agencies?
intel agencies that lied about that. It was the politicians, like your old friend Ted Cruz, that believed those lies and got us into those wars. And it was President Trump who campaigned on being different. And that's a separate thing I'm going to get into. But the 18 U.S. intelligence agencies concluded that Iran was not building a nuclear weapon, and that has not changed during the course of this war. However, what has changed is that
Yes.
Iran has now learned they don't need a nuclear weapon, because they can behave like a nuclear power without ever needing to be one, because they can just close the Strait of Hormuz if and when they ever want. And they have learned what China has learned, which is that you're never going to beat the U.S. military militarily. You beat us economically.
Let's
just dismantle that.
last quick point on that. Trump keeps saying how badly he wants a deal. The Iranians keep saying nothing. They're not negotiating, they're not coming to a deal, and they still have nuclear material on their soil. So it seems that they're the ones who seem to think that they have the upper hand to keep this going as long as they want.
Well, I think it's the economic lever more than anything else, because it is able to control not just the United States, but really the Western world in a lot of ways. And because of the way the Western world has treated that region for centuries, you can understand why there may be some animosity.
And the bigger point there is that Netanyahu has been trying to push presidents into this for many presidencies. Trump's the only one who took the bait because everybody knew what was going to happen. Israel wanted to go to wipe them off the map, and they knew that they would have some leverage because they're in the region and they have the strait. This is the problem.
We gotta
Well,
leave
the
it there.
economic leverage.
Next for
that
us,
the political leverage.
not exactly a hero's welcome for the president.
So, I'll be honest, guys, that was a very short clip. I simply just wanted to show that to you guys purely for the entertainment, because it's very rare that we actually see it. It's very rare that we actually see Republicans breaking ranks with other Republicans and calling them out because of this war that's taking place in Iran. It's very rare that it is that we see it, but it is the truth. The Strait of Hormuz was open prior to this conflict. And it's a very good point that Caroline Sunshine actually makes. The country that shouts death to America have never ever killed Americans on US soil. So it's a very, very interesting conversation. I'm not saying it's right. I don't know enough. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. But it's a very interesting question that the country that screams and shouts death to America, they've never ever spilt American blood on US soil. It's always been in the Middle East. And then Caroline Sunshine said, why are we in the Middle East? Very interesting question. As usual, do the usual stuff. Give the video a thumbs up. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this exchange in the comment section below. And then as usual, I'll see you guys in the next one.